what's up YouTube, and welcome to another Guild Ball match report. This time we can welcome Thomas to the channel. Thomas is a new player who is playing the Butchers this time. Ox, Princess, Boiler, Shank, Boar, and Vet Gutter. Meanwhile, I'm coming in with Midas, Naja, Crucible, Vitriol, Catalyst, and Venom. So here we go. Butcher's keys to victory. Going for the 1-4 game. Win the momentum race. You're going to want to keep a hostage, especially that first turn, which is going to be critical. And then you really need to get those 2 to 3 takeouts on the legendary turn. That's when Ox is going to be pouring things out. Meanwhile, for the Alchemists, we are going to be going with a 2-goal, 2-takeout scheme. We're playing this more of a 2-2. I know the internet says Midas should be a hard 3-0. I play a 2-2. We're going to want to stretch the field with our strikers. We've got a couple of targets for low health and low defense. And then we want to keep the ball in play. This is the difficult part. You know, Butchers are going to be chasing us all over the field, trying to kill us, and also trying to kill that ball. So here we go. The ball's been kicked off by Boar. I'm picking that up with Venom, and then I'm very uncharacteristically kicking that to Midas, which is, you know, that's shameful. I shouldn't do that. That's very out of character for Alchemists. So we'll go ahead and we're gonna go with Midas, and he is gonna kick that ball over to Vitriol. Vitriol is gonna dodge forward. I'm sorry, Crucible. Then Midas is gonna take a quick little jog here, and he is going to lure. Sorry, he needs to back up a little bit there, and he is going to lure the Snack Naja up, and you can see I measure 2 within Boar's threat range right there. That's a bit of a misleading thing, though. It's within his range, but it's not so that he can base, which means I can unpredictable should I want. Now here's probably the lesson of this game, if anything, is activation order. Thomas starts in with Princess, which is good, jogging her up to the halfway line, but then here we go with Boiler, who's going to jog up, and he's going to throw like 3 marked targets out, 1 on Venom, 1 on Crucible, and I think he misses one of them. And so in theory, it's not bad. The only thing I have to say here, and I'm trying not to be like overly critical, this is hopefully going to be useful for new players, is really activation order is important here. I would have gone with Ox before throwing Boiler in there, because it does allow me to try to take an early goal. And it's just a good idea to take those 0 to 1 influence activations first, let the board state develop, and your options start to open up more as you do that. So here we go. Vitriol is going to go ahead, and it looks like I think the plan here is to charge. Yeah, so I went ahead and charged Boiler, managed to get the push dodge, and I'm within goal scoring range, and I'm just going to shoot a straight 3-8 kick, and we're going to go ahead and make that goal, and then I'm going to use the momentum to bounce further out of the play. So that is the danger of the receiving Midas team, is I can really extend threat, and with Crucible out there, Crucible and Vitriol are just both really deadly at extending that range. Ball goes in, and Boar is going to go ahead and snap it and kind of send it behind him before he goes into Venom. Again, activation order here. I don't disagree with the move. I know Boar needs to come in. I probably would have waited 1 activation, even if that meant throwing Vet Gutter in a little bit earlier, or even Shank to just kind of glide around that terrain there, maybe score a couple of hits on Venom. Not 100% sure on this, is just my advice, or maybe even just gone with Ox, because that's Ox is kind of an empty activation this turn. So Boar goes in there, doesn't quite wreck Venom as hard as he could, because Venom is already poisoned up, and so I have a hostage now. So this is kind of a bad situation for Thomas, because so now I've got VCat in there. He's just gonna come in and knock down Boar, and I think he does the knockdown 2 damage, and then and just we're kind of leaving space there for Vitriol. So again, with the board state not quite where it could be had he gone with a couple of lower priority activations, I now have a hostage and I have got a bunch of influence in the back. What this does do, though, and I understand why he might have done it, I think he was worried about Naja going in there and really shutting Boar down, because Naja was within strike range of Boar, and Naja does horrible, awful things to Boar if he can get to Boar before activating. So I don't totally disagree with the move. I just feel it's a little rough, getting deep into my territory there when I have so much on the board. So Naja's going to spend a couple of attacks. He gets a little bit of damage, momentous damage, but with that test subject being a wonderful little thing on a 2-0 knockdown target, I actually bank, you can see I bank a ton of momentum off wraps there going into Boar. And so things are, I'm off to a very good start. Got a momentum lead. I've got an early goal. And, this is a Midas team that's clicking on all cylinders, with Midas really only having to do a lure and a pass. So Vitriol is going to come in. Was out of range for the free charge, but I think it was worth it. I gave up that free charge to get the knockdown on Boar, and then I'm going to do some push dodging. I'm going to do, with the wraps, I am going to go ahead and just start pouring some damage down on Boar. And again, the idea here is I'm actually playing more of the Butcher style, keeping a hostage here and keeping the momentum lead. So again, it's a tough spot. Not really good threat extenders on this team, except I do feel like, Shank could have got in there. Who knows, though? Maybe that's not the best call. Maybe Shank going in early would have given me 2 hostages. I don't know. But it might have, with Ox going earlier and then Shank, maybe the board state wouldn't have been as advantageous to me. Thomas is going to go ahead and kind of just keep the ball out of play and just pocket a goal for himself later in the game, which is not bad. It's the end of the turn, roughly, I think. Yeah, there was an interesting, I missed the Vet Gutter activation there, which was just a quick pass to Shank, just to bank a little momentum. And he was worried about, his dice were pretty bad, so he wanted to stay in the tap-in range there and just make sure that pass went to Shank. So we're going to play cards here. Again, I have a huge momentum lead, so I am going to be going first. I forget this turn. I think I'm taking +1 kick, if I recall. I don't remember. So anyways, I'm going to start off, and, we're going to... oh, no, looks like I took seize the initiative. Not sure why I did that, but hey, why not? So I'm going to dodge, or I think one of us played it, because you can see the dodges there. I dodge Venom into the play. He dodges Vet Gutter into the play. These are both good calls, I think. And I'm going to throw, I think, 3 on Venom, 3 on OCAT here. So going to continue on with the 2-2 plan. Meanwhile, Thomas is going to go ahead and throw enough on Shank to guarantee his goal. He's looking for that Ox Legendary this turn, so I think we will see that as well. So I'm going to start with Venom. I'm going to immediately take an attack on the knockdown Boar. This is like 10 dice going on Boar here because of the crowd outs and the fact that Boar was poisoned the turn before. And I'm going to go ahead and do the Poison Rain and put poison on Gutter. I'll dodge in as well. I think Boar is only on a couple of health here, so it's going to be pretty easy to dispatch him. So I'll go ahead and get that takeout, and I'll bank a ton of momentum on wraps. Wow, that was a lot of momentum I just threw down there. So Boar out of the picture is pretty rough. That's because that's one of his main hitters. Was probably looking for a little bit more on Boiler this turn, because Boiler on Legendary turn is really gross. Vet Gutter is decent, but I think the Boiler Princess combo in there, pretty nuts. Venom is going to do a little bit more damage to Vet Gutter there, and he's going to Heroic and do a few more damage to her, and I think Ox managed to get Ox with some poison as well. So you can see I'm already working into possibly my second takeout target, which is going to be Vet Gutter. But there's some decent takeout targets here between Vet Gutter and Boiler. Haven't really gotten into Boiler yet, but he's also, you know, a good target because of his low-ish health there. So now we've got Ox looking to finish the job that Boar started last turn. That was just horrible dice rolling, by the way, on that Boar charge. He did end up actually whiffing that last turn. And really, I think he only got 2 of 4 attacks down, which is why Venom has so much health right now. But Ox goes ahead and lays into Venom there, puts up a legendary. Things are looking scary. I'm trying to figure out, can the Sneck get back there? And it looks like the Sneck is going to get back there and going to attack Vet Gutter, I believe. And does not really manage to accomplish anything, unfortunately. Now, Thomas is going to go ahead and take his goal here. I'm not sure I agree with that. That could have happened much later in the turn. And again, you know, not to criticize the guy, he is new at the game, but it's one of those things that you learn as a veteran player is, you know, if you're safely out of threat range, you wait. That way, you know, I have to spend a bunch of a bunch of influence, and I don't have a chance for a snapback. Ideally, that's what you want to do. But he goes ahead and takes the goal and knocks it in there. And now he's got a snapshot turret, so it's not absolutely terrible. But you can see the ball. I throw that ball rather high up the board, and I'm trying to figure out, hey, looks like Midas can get there and pass, and so that's what Midas is going to do. He's going to jog, looks like sprint up, snap the ball, and then pass that ball. Oh, looks like I did a legendary on Boiler and Princess there, and I'm going to pass the ball to Crucible. So again, here's what I'm talking about. So now I have a secure goal all the way back there. I don't have to take that goal until the end of the turn. So I can work on, you know, the rest of my influence can go on that second takeout that I'm hoping to get. And Vitriol is in decent shape. She's not entirely out of the clear, but it looks like... oh, sorry, I totally missed the activation there, but it looks like Venom went down. So he's off the board, and now the score is tied, and that's good. The score is tied, but however, you know, I'm just in a better position, and again, that has to do with the activation state. The activation order is heavily in my favor. So, and that happens with games like this, is, you know, and I make this mistake all the time with activation order. Sometimes I get nervous or antsy, and I take an activation, then you know, 1 or 2 activations early, worried that I'm going to lose a player. Gutter's going into OCAT there, and OCAT's taking a fair bit of damage. It looks like he's on 16 or 17 health there. But Gutter did a good job dispatching Venom. I'm going to go ahead and go back into Gutter because she is lowish health. I'm going to come all the way around. So I'm hoping that internal combustion, I can kick her back towards Ox. Maybe get a little more burning out there. So again, Venom, OCAT doing work here. OCAT just a great, you know, knockdown piece. This is something that butchers tend to struggle with, is they have low knockdowns on a couple of characters that usually don't make a 6. So knockdown V Gutter, and we're putting in some damage on her. Looks like I did manage to get within external combustion there to put Ox on fire. Thomas is looking to thwart that Crucible goal, and I think a little exposition on my part to say, like, I probably wouldn't do that because, you know, Crucible has 3 on her. She can easily just get away, but he does manage to get back there and tackle a ball, which is good. But I'm not worried about it. Crucible on 3 is a really nice thing. I don't really have to worry. It looks like Vitriol is going to go ahead, take an attack on V Gutter, I believe, who's knocked down. I'll take a momentous double dodge, get out of the way, pull the fire off of Ox there so that I can charge into V Gutter. So I'm going to do a bunch of damage to V Gutter and take her out. So this game is it's moving along very, very quickly now. Now that I'm at 8 and I have all but a goal guaranteed there. And, you know, it's a fun game. This is kind of what happens, though, is, you know, a couple of activations get away from you, and a fast-scoring, aggressive team like this, again, with some good dice rolls in my favor and some poor dice rolls on that boar charge and a couple of activations, gets pretty rough. So, it looks like I am just about ready to do my goal scoring run there. I'm going to end up tackling the ball from Boiler, and then I think I get a I actually stay in and just take the shot on penalty and make the goal. So that's going to do it for the game. I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.